Production car challenge in iRacing is always a gamble. It's chaotic, but when it's good, it's really good. We're about to have a race full of battles, some questionable moves in the bus stop, and a fight for P1 that goes all the way to the line for a classic Daytona photo finish. Well, that is, if we can actually make it to the line. Alright guys, we're back on iRacing. This was a really good race. It's been a while since I did a sim video, but I thought, well, this one's too good. I have to post it. And you see me battle it out with these GR86. I'm driving this silver one. And yeah, this is Production Car Challenge, 25 minutes race. Let's go. If you don't know me, I'm a sim racer that's going into real life racing. I just got used a new to me race car, and I'm recording all of that journey. If you're interested, take a look at the other videos on my channel. We'll have the first race later this year. So, coming up into the line, this is lap 1. I don't know any of these people, so I'm really gonna be just being careful here. I'm gonna go to the outside and I'm gonna brake a little bit later and just occupy the space ahead of me, making sure nobody bumps me from behind. And I'm not really trying to make a move on this guy, just trying to survive turn 1. And we did that, no problem. The plan is to get into a groove here, survive the first lap, try to understand who can we trust, who can we battle with, and of course try to make it faster. Coming up into the bus stop for the first time, braking early, just occupying that space, making sure we have good exits so the guy behind won't have really a chance of drafting. But as you can see, we start getting closer. Now we have, every time on Daytona, you have to make this decision of do we push or do we try to pass. Right here, really no reason to go offline. But once these guys ahead, they start battling, I stuck with Dinoco here and I'm like, yeah, I'm your guy, let's go. Nice gap ahead of them, but of course they have the inside. Black car comes up the inside. For now, I'm not really interested in battling, so let him stay there. I'm still on Dinoco's draft here, and I'm just gonna cover the inside. Nothing crazy here. He has the longer way around to go, and on exit we got a better exit, so we clear him by the straight. After the kink, you can see I move my car just a little bit to the right, just to, don't get any ideas. Don't come diving on me. A little early on, let's play nice. Have plenty of time. Like I said, I don't know the guys ahead, so I'm really not sure of who I want to be pushing or racing with. But you have to start making choices. Dinoco goes to the outside lane, I choose to support him, but really I don't want to be fighting yet. And here I hesitate, I lift, and I kind of miss my braking mark. And when I do reach a brake, it's too late. I panic, and I touch Dinoco, and I spin him around. Luckily, I still hold my brakes, and I give him space to get it back together. Let's take another look at it. Deep on the brakes, ABS on, panic. And he just makes a great job saving that, especially on iRacing. Let's look at his cam. Look at that opposite. Nicely done, Dinoco. Well, not off to a great start, as we're making mistakes and we're down to P7. And of course, that guy didn't have any fault, right? Gonna bump him again with the overstall there in the corner. And I had it in my mind, right? If I have the chance, I'm gonna push that guy and try to get him back to where we were, because ultimately that's all my fault, right? So I have it in the back of my mind, hey, if Dinoco, if I can, I'm gonna help him, push him, because, yeah, we're back here because of me. us. We have the car that just rejoined the race, so he's a little bit slower. I'm expecting that he's going to be a late breaker since he's slower, and he caught me off guard here by surprise, and I do touch him, but you know, I just stay back. This gives a really good run for the car behind us, and he chooses to go on the inside, touches me a little bit there, get a little bit of a wiggle. I don't like that, but if you want to run very close, I'm gonna run very close. Side drafting, baby. I'm actually gonna hold him up a little bit as when he bumps and he loses speed, and I'm side drafting him, and it's not enough to pass him, of course it won't be, but it's at least enough to keep him boxed in there. And coming on T1, I open up my entry and just let him do its thing. The guy that just rejoined just goes way off track. He's no longer in the race with us, and I get a much better exit. You can see we are behind the front pack, but I have confidence that we can catch them. Oh, of course, this is a replay, right? I know how the race ends, but at the time I was like, I'm feeling confident I can stay with him. We need a good exit here to stay on draft, and really it's not that great. The car ahead of us had an oversteer moment, but we are 0.7. That gap's gonna grow because they have much more draft between them than I do out here, but I don't think it's gonna be enough that they can just leave me for that, right? Get a good exit out of the bus stop in here and just want them to fight, right? If they're going too wide, you're going to be slower. And if they're fighting, I can catch back up. There you go. We're going side by side. We can run the ideal line here and get right back up. See, red car makes a little bit of a mistake there, gets back on track. Now I do want to help Dinoco here, so I don't go for a dive. And the way things play out, the red car, maybe he overheated his tires on T1, he gets a bit loose on exit, loses time, and then Dinoco's right beside him. We managed to go side by side before the king. I'm on the inside, so that gives me the advantage. But now I'm on the outside. And here you can see we are going side by side, so we're losing time. And on the exit, here's some good news. The black car, he went a little bit wide, lost some time, and we managed to overtake him, but he's on our inside, so we do have to run a wide line here getting onto the oval. He stays pretty tight, and that just everything sets in nicely here, and we're all on a straight line on the oval. Get a lot of speed from drafting here, and as I'm preparing to make a move, I see the smoke in the distance. I just think, days of thunder, days of thunder. Yeah, we get through it unscathed, no issues, but let's take a look at what happened.
Fuel your best.
I'm just gonna put my foot on the floor and I'm not lifting till I see God or a checkered flag.
My man.
So we didn't make any moves here. We're still behind the red and gray car. Dinoco now leading the race, right? What a positive outcome from getting dived into on the first corner of the second lap. But yeah, I've seen a couple of mistakes from this guy already, and I don't want to risk it too much with him, but of course we can't lose the note. Here what I was thinking was, this guy, he made some mistakes. I don't trust him enough to, you know, stay with us in the lead, so I am going to attack, right? I managed to get side by side here, but I don't want to do anything crazy. Get him offline, he gets a very bad exit. And again, we have that white car, Commodore car, I think, pushing us from the outside. Now what happens here is I can't go down, and I don't want to work with the red and gray car. So I choose to stay around the outside. Now I think this guy's gonna push me, but he goes pretty wide. And really here what I'm thinking is, we don't want to let Dinoco get too much of a gap. If you guys want to play, let's play. I side draft that guy a little bit, you know, keep him tight, and then we make this move. Beautiful move, beautiful move. I was really proud of that at that moment. Here, we're still trying to chase Dinoco. He's 1.3 seconds ahead of me. We're still on draft, but it's you know, it's barely. So I do need to run some clean laps to get up. You can see he went very safe on the bus stop there. Now we're 0.7 behind. Now we're into a comfortable draft position, but the guys behind are closer. We have 4 tenths behind and 7 tenths behind. And here we jump into the red car, and this is Daytona is always like this. It's always a decision. What are we gonna do with that draft for P1? So he chooses to place his car on the outside here, has a little bit of overspeed. I go inside, just defensive. Goes wide, tries to make a move around the outside. But that's not enough. He's light into his position. Now the guys behind are really close, but I'm really focused ahead of me. I'm really focused on getting to Dinoco. We want to fight for P1. I don't want to fight for P2. And as we get into the oval, we can see Commodore is right behind us. He has a really good drafting opportunity here. Keep it on the inside, he pushes me a little bit, and then we go back to the racing line. I defend, and I go way offline to compromise my exit, and he sends it on the inside. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even see it. I got the call out very late, and at that point I was already committed to the line. What do you think? Because in my head, it was a valid send, but the overlap that he got was so small, and I was already committed to that first apex that really, like, I don't see. If I had given him the space, I think he was gonna push me wide on the second apex. But I want to know from you guys. I don't have a lot of angles, but he was blinking in and out, and right after the touch he blinked. That's what we got. Coming up to 21 now, you may have seen another car. And we're gonna call him K1, that's K1 Speed Livery. And he just joined the party. He made like, I think, 8 or 9 positions so far, so he's crawling up the field, he's definitely fast. And we haven't seen him yet, so we don't know how that's gonna play out. So Dinoco moves to the right, and I don't want to give up the inside here. But Red and Raiden goes, catches Dinoco's draft. We are side by side now. He's ahead of me going into the first corner. I don't think there's much I can do here. Still go for the inside line, and I squeeze myself into this tiny gap. Bit tight, yeah. But good racing. And here we have a bit of miscommunication. I try to keep him tight on the inside for this next corner, but then he brakes on a left trajectory. I wasn't expecting that, so we hit each other a little bit. Nothing too exciting. And then I'm drafting him. I'm trying to get back ahead of the silver car before the pink. I managed to do so. Now I just go over the inside for the next corner, and we should be good. I'm very surprised by how much the guy's braking. I don't know if he's like trying to back me up into the traffic behind us. But yeah, also cool. This is his camera coming up into the oval. And you can see right behind me, we have that. So that K1 car just murdered somebody. Let's take another look. This was the guy who just passed, right? He goes defensive. He's gonna compromise his exit, but K1 doesn't care. He just gets right behind him and full throttles like there's nothing ahead of him. And just spins the guy out. Luckily, he didn't hit any walls. That's not so cool. But yeah, at this point, I think this guy had made 11 positions. So very aggressive, and we gotta keep that in mind in case we get to battle. Now on the oval here, I'm not so happy with the gap that Dinoco has on us and what's happening behind, so I just push red and gray car here. Give him room for the bus stop, let him do its thing. And we are now very close to Dinoco. And as we get closer and closer to T1, Dinoco starts waving. He's playing games. He's getting into some pressure now for the first time in a while. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking they're way too much into this battle. I'm just gonna sit back and try to get a good exit. And just like I thought, they're eager to get out of it. They go offline, and we do get contact there, but not too much. And Dinoco and that guy, they touch again. And look at that, K1 is right beside us. Dinoco lunges on the red guy there, and we're off to, well, now we're leading the race. At this point, K1 behind us, looking for a move there, but we are gonna go on the inside and just defend. To the oval, and now it's all down to what they choose. Are they gonna push me? Are they gonna try and pass me? Right? Now we're just driving on our mirror. We get a push from K1 before the bus stop here. He's made so many positions that he's really going for that win, right? But at this point, what I have in my head is, he might be aggressive. And when it comes to draft here at Daytona, or any track really, there's like a sweet spot, how far back you are that you get the most speed out, like a slingshot. That is exactly what happens with red and gray car here. It gets a lot of speed, right? Side drafting also in work here. Goes on around the outside for a lunge. So late, but then he's really hard on his brakes. He doesn't manage to turn in, and he goes back exactly where he was. So he's got the right spirit there. That would have been a great move. But he really overcooked his tires there. Couldn't get it turned in. Coming up to the last lap, and the last time we're gonna make P1. Let's see what happens here. We go to the random gray car. He goes around the outside to try again the same move, which almost worked last time, right? So he's a bit easier there on his tires. I'm getting attacked by K1, but I just keep on the inside. Squeeze him wider. Oh no. Overcooks it on the exit and spins on his own on the last lap. Unlucky. The battle ahead continues. I go defensive for K1 there. In the back of my mind, since I almost killed Dinoco there, I'm like, yeah, I want to help this guy out. You see, last lap from his perspective, no one's really close enough to make a move, and nobody wants to make a move here. Because essentially, it's all gonna get decided on the oval. Back to my camera so you can feel a little bit of that pressure, right? You guys are right behind, I'm in front. It's all down to what they decide, right? And I think they hang back. I don't know if they pushed each other there. Everyone wants to go into that P1 spot. This feels like those IMSA MX5 races where the guy leading on the last lap is never the one that wins, right? And we're getting to the bus stop. K1 goes for the move on the inside. I squeeze him a little bit. He touches me. I don't really like that. Let's see, we made it through the bus stop. We're all alive. Let's take another look. And from this camera you can see, I really think he just kind of turned in, not in, but turned on me there. And I'm all for hard racing, but that kind of stuff, I'm not a big fan. go for the inside, pick your line there, and let's battle it out. And here things might not be looking too good, but in my mirrors, I see Dinoco flashing his light. And that for me just tells me, hey, let's work together. I also don't want this guy to win. That's what's going on in my mind. So I go out of his draft a little bit earlier. If Dinoco didn't push me, I couldn't do anything. You know, it would be, that's it. But he does push me, and then K1 gets desperate. Throws the car on top of me, but I have steady hands, I'm gonna hold this. And we go all the way to the line, fighting, rubbing each other. Dinoco just goes below and tries to get out of this mess. Look at the camera from my car. And he's still crashing and pushing and trying to do anything, but...
Nice.
We got it, baby. He won. Hell yeah. And all thanks to Dinoco, because if he hadn't pushed, you know, he saw us crashing, I was like, I don't want any of this, I'm just gonna stay down here. Let you guys figure it out. And luckily for us, we got it, baby. So look at this, tries to... He can't do anything at this good side draft, but then he tries pushing. And, well, here just pushed back a little bit. And yeah, I'm ahead, he won. That was it, great racing. And if you watched the video all this way, you're a legend. And if you want to support me, subscribe, like, maybe leave a comment. What did you think of those situations that happened? And maybe send it to a friend, right? I'm gonna be doing a few more sim videos probably, but soon we're gonna start with the racing videos for the 26th season. And yeah, thanks. That's all I have for you today. See you next time.